Hey guys, my brand new candid conversation with the Voices contestant from Team Kelsea Ballerini, Miss Hailey Wright, is right here on the Boston Chris Show right now. This is the most in depth interview anywhere with Miss Hailey. Y'all check it out. It's time to chat. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to chat. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey y'all, this is India Ramey. Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Hey guys, we have Hailey Wright here on the Boston Chris podcast today, and guys, I got to tell you, this one kind of took me by surprise. This is episode 60, by the way, and so I became friends with Hailey on Facebook a couple of days ago, and I've known who she is for a while. Hailey Wright The Wrong, and she's had a presence in the Texarkana area for a really, really long time here in East Texas, and I won't say a really long time, a couple of years at least that you've been playing live. But when I saw you get onto The Voice, I was like, interesting. I could see this going somewhere. And here she is. I reached out. I said, hey, so the first question I have to ask you, I bet you haven't been asked this before. How did it feel to say, reach out to my publicist?
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you asked that because nobody ever does. And I think honestly that's the most unreal part.
Yeah, I
Is
bet.
having to say that.
Yeah, I bet. Because you're a small town girl, you're basically been a
Yes.
regional artist up till this point, and now you're just like, yeah, reach out to my team. That's gonna be surreal.
Right.
But it's cool though because that's when you start realizing that things are happening for you. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
so I
Because
have,
I'm so used to people coming to me and I'm like, oh yeah, we can set it up for blah 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 day. And now I'm like, oh, hold on. I don't know if we can do that yet.
yeah, because you might have other commitments and stuff. Totally makes sense.
Right.
It's cool talking through a team at times, from my perspective, because things happen fast. I was expecting perhaps having you on the podcast after your journey was through, and Danielle was like, "How about tomorrow?" I was like, "Wait, what? Okay, well, all right then." So yeah, it worked out really well for me. Let me ask you an icebreaker question. This is usually my first question, but I wanted to hit you with the publicist one first, just because I thought that was funny. What are your favorite drinks right now? What have you been drinking?
Oh, water. Duh.
Yeah, is that the
Really,
answer
I'm
you
just
have
a
to
big
say, or the
water
actual
girl.
answer?
That's the actual answer.
Really?
That is the actual answer.
I,
Yes. That and I love like medicinal teas,
yeah, I'm there
like
with you,
warm teas.
man.
Yeah.
Teas make me pee a lot, though, man. I guess that's what they're supposed to do, but geez, man. It's like, yeah, anytime I have tea, that happens to me a lot. So yeah, we mentioned Redwater, Texas, which on your story as part of your voice journey is essentially what it is. I've been there. It's literally a one-stop sign town with a general store
hmm
slash gas station slash
Yeah.
loitering point, right? So, um, you're still a youngin. What's it been like growing up in that part of the world?
Yeah. Growing up, because Redwater is so small, so I feel like to really do anything, you kind of have to venture away from Redwater, go to like the Texarkana area more so.
Yeah.
And for me growing up, I stayed heavy in the softball world. I was big into fast pitch softball. So I would be constantly away at like tournaments out of town and whatnot.
Yeah, and so sports was really your passion growing up until something freak happened,
Absolutely.
and we'll talk about that. But was music kind of there too on the peripheral, or did that not really come until the injury?
Well, for me, so growing up, ever since I could speak, my parents have said that I've always sang.
Hmm.
I've always been walking around the house singing, just whatever. And I knew I could sing. I was just too shy to do so in front of anybody. I would not do it. If you asked me to sing, I would run and hide. It was like the worst thing ever in the world for me. I did not want to do it for anyone. And then whenever I broke my leg, I had received a pawn shop guitar the
Mm.
Christmas prior to doing so, and I didn't have anything better to do. So I went home. I'm still wearing a boot and picked up this guitar. I taught myself how to play. I think within the first few days of teaching myself how to play, I learned my first song. And then 6 months later, I landed American Idol.
Wow. Yeah. So what was that
Yeah.
first song that you learned? Do you remember?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I want to say that the first thing I ever learned might have been a Billie Eilish song.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
which is crazy to say because I'm so heavy into country music now. But I think it was a Billie Eilish song, and then the actual first song I really, really learned and was like one of the first ones I ever played out would have been Folsom Prison, Johnny
Okay.
Cash.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great tune. That's a good starter song for sure. I wanted to
absolutely.
talk about family life with you because a lot of times with these with the competition shows, the backstory is important to the show, and obviously they have to market their stars and stuff like that, and I understand that. But I find your story interesting because I knew who you were before the show. So I mean, we've never met or anything, but I did know who you were, and I'm interested, first of all, in your genre diversification because you haven't always been country. You just alluded to that a little bit, and I've seen your live shows as well. So you can't sell me on country only. I've seen those live shows. Um, but anyway, I wanted to talk about the family story from The Voice. About you just finding out about your culture and who you are. You look different than your sisters. That had to be a little bit of a culture shock for you as a youngster, right?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. Yeah, because, growing up, I actually recall an incident at home. I was in the bathroom and I had this bottle of whiteout. And I took this bottle of whiteout and I began to like paint up my hands and my arms. And my mom came in the bathroom and she's like, Haley, what are you doing? Why do you have the whiteout and why are you putting it on your arm like that? And I was like, I just want to look like my sisters.
Mm,
Why don't I look like them?
yeah. And so we're alluding to the Native American background. So you start asking questions at that point. So
Yes.
how's it feel to know that you have a different culture? You know now why you look different, maybe why you act a little bit different, things like that. Do you really start deep diving into that culture and trying to learn as much as you can about it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that I took my biggest dive in 2020 and 2021 during COVID, during the pandemic. And me and my mom, we sat down and we got on like Ancestry and started going through all the genealogy stuff and just making a big family tree, trying to put everything together.
Yeah. And so did you know that the person who raised you was your stepdad all along and that you had a biological dad that was separate?
I did. I did know that. However, I never once referred to him. I know on the show they had
Right.
me refer to him as stepdad, but
Right.
of course, to me, that is my dad.
Right. So you've always
I
called
don't I
him
don't see
dad.
him as a stepdad.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about lessons because I feel like in the music world, it's really kind of interesting how lessons that you learn when you're young end up being really things you lean on in the music industry as well. So has that happened for you already, where you've learned some
Oh
things from
yeah.
your folks that you kind of apply to your everyday life now?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what were some of those?
Um really just you have to be in things all or nothing. You can't like, with your family you have a line of loyalty, and with my music there's also loyalty there whether I'm working with somebody else or it's just between me and my instruments.
Yeah, yeah. And I hear you say a lot on the show, I will not take no for an answer. Is that something you learned from your folks as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No is not in my vocab.
Yep. You never know what can happen to you if you just ask, right?
Right.
I mean, look,
That's all there is
here
to
we
it.
are.
Just
We're
ask.
talking right now because I just asked. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you talked about sports and all of that, and how you did enjoy singing. Do you remember what your first musical memory was as a kid?
Ooh, let's see. One of my first musical memories that I recall is singing in a talent show in elementary school, I believe.
Okay.
And oh goodness, what did I sing? Now you got me thinking. Um, I believe also not country. I believe I sang "Knocking on Heaven's Door" by Avril Lavigne. It was like a rendition that she put out,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was kind of slow and mellow, really nice.
And that's a song you do during your live shows still to this day, I believe, right?
Yes, I still do. I still carry that with me.
Yeah. So the live show that I saw of yours, it was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 songs into the set before you featured a country song. And I was like, I'm looking at your audition, your blind audition, you know, where you get the chairs to turn. That's a country song. Then they ask you to
Mhm.
yodel, and that's a country song. And then, you know, they're featuring this country girl from Northeast Texas. And man, you got a vibe in your voice that's a little bit different than that in your live shows. It's more Janice than Leanne Rhymes, is what I was telling my wife this morning.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of Janice in there behind that yodel as well. I want to hear you talk about how, like, your influences kind of shape what you decide to sing and play and put out there as an artist.
Yeah. For me, like whenever I sit down and write original material, even it is definitely heavily inspired by like some of the more rock
Yeah.
influences that I've had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so hard to write a classic country song, especially now.
Yeah.
And
Because it's
while
all
that
been
is
said,
something that
right?
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
that's something that I love to pursue, I love classic country. Love it with my whole heart. I grew up listening to classic country.
Mm-hmm.
And but whenever I sit down and I write a song, I sometimes catch myself, I'll even write pop songs by accident. I don't mean to, but
Not a
it's
problem
just
with that.
there.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you auditioned with a Freddie Fender song.
Mhm.
I mean, there's not too many people here in the 21st century who even know who Freddie Fender is, especially outside of Texas, right? Like, you and I are in
Right.
Texas. Freddie he still has a presence here in Texas, right? So, like, I'm sure you grew up on that kind of sound, that Tex-Mex sound. Did you choose your
Mhm.
audition song? Were you allowed to choose that?
Yes, I did get to choose that.
And so, why did you choose Freddie Fender?
Um, I well, originally I chose it because I wanted to show off the Spanish part. I
Yeah,
wanted to sing the Spanish,
which is
but when all came down to it, when it all came down to it, it was said and done, and we didn't have enough time for it.
yeah.
So we ended up just using the English parts.
Well, there's some edginess in your voice, especially with a song like that. That song does have some yodeling aspects to it. So,
Mhm.
you know, I think it's a smart choice because you can show your vocal control to these professional artists, so to speak. And
Right.
I think it was a really brilliant choice to showcase what you can do vocally. I've always wanted to ask this to a voice artist, and I've had several on the show, and for some reason I've never asked it. I imagine as you're performing and a chair turns, that's going to be exhilarating. So, do you prepare for that possibility and practice for it? Like, how do you continue to perform through that?
Oh, yes. Well, see, now I have had this asked to me before, but for me, I think it's different than maybe some of the other artists that went out because
Mhm.
when the first chair turned, I didn't notice. I didn't even know they turned around. So, I start center stage and then I go to one side and then I walk to the other. By the time I got back to the middle of the stage and looked up, that's whenever I realized, oh my goodness, Michael and Kelsey just turned around.
So you're in the
I didn't even
moment
know they
then.
had turned. Yes, I was so caught up in the moment. And that's what I told myself going out there too. I was like, just go out there, do it how you know how. And, just remember this is your passion regardless of what happens.
Yeah, and so I mean, the very first thing you're a country girl, so Kelsey turning had to be freaking exciting as hell, I imagine for you.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. And then, I mean, shoot, Michael Bublé is no slouch either. Let's be honest. But like,
Right.
this is Kelsey's first season, and she's looking for artists exactly like you. So, that has to be like I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Like that's crazy. Um, and then to be asked to sing a second song,
Mhm.
which does not happen on these shows. It does not happen, and you were prepared for that as well. And I gotta, if you're not familiar with what happened to Hailey on stage, they immediately, especially Kelsey, noticed the yodel that was there, which again, the choice of song is what showcased that. And then she mentioned the song Blue, which was made famous by LeAnn Rimes, and you knew the song. So,
I
and
did.
sang like part of the song. How do you know that song?
Oh my goodness. Well, so funny story. While growing up, yes, I did listen to a lot of classic country.
Hmm.
I've only heard that song maybe a handful of times, 3 or 4 times that I
Yeah.
could count. And going out there, whenever she asked that out, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I'm not going to tell her no.
No, of
Of
course
course, I'm
not.
going to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You never say no
So,
in
yeah,
the entertainment business, ever, ever, ever. I'm gonna tell you a little,
never.
yeah, ever. Even if you can't do it, you say yes always. I'm gonna tell you a bit of a story on that song. My uncle was the very first person to perform and release that song on a record. The song Blue,
Really.
1963. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's
He
amazing.
was a world champion yodeler by the name of Kenny Roberts, and when LeAnn came out with the song, they were marketing it as a first time release. The song had never been released. They marketed it as supposedly written for Patsy Cline. The song was written by a guy named Bill Mack, and my uncle sued Sony because he released the song in 1963, and they were trying to say that it had never been released and all of this hogwash, and he won. They settled and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, you
Oh my
can, guys,
gosh.
if you're out there, and we have a lot of songwriting nerds on the show watching. So go look up that story, Kenny Roberts' Blue. It's a fantastic rendition. But that's where the yodel came from in that song, was from my uncle. My uncle put that in there. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up too.
Please do. I would love to hear your 2 cents on that. Like, listen to the song. Tell me what you think. Um, but yeah, so you got to sing the song. You've only heard it like 4 or 5 times, and you nailed it. And now you have a choice to make, Michael or Kelsey. This is really not a choice for you, I imagine. It was probably right there all along. What's it been like working with Kelsey?
Oh my gosh, working with Kelsey, she is the biggest sweetheart. My goodness. She really is like an older sister.
Yeah,
She has
she gives
she's
that
just been
vibe.
phenomenal. Yes, yes.
What's the number one
She
thing
even
you've
told me
learned from
whenever
her
I
so
came off the
far?
stage.
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she even told me whenever I came off the stage, she was like, I'm gonna be like your big sister. Of course, my dad and sister are behind the stage there to the side. And Kelsey walked off with me and she went over there and she was like, well, I know you're kind of her big sister, but I'm gonna be like the other big sister now.
Okay, so fighting over siblinghood.
Right.
So yeah, what's the number one thing you've learned from her so far through the journey?
She's really taught me how to like open up and be more myself on stage.
So getting over that shyness factor.
Yes, yes.
So again, I gotta say to folks out there watching, Hailey's been doing this for a little while. She's been on stages. I don't see shy in you when I see your shows. But being on a stage with all of these lights, knowing that there's 5 million people watching on all of that, it's a little bit of a different thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, big time.
And so, how do you get over those nerves? Is it really what you said when the chairs turn? You're just trying to be in the moment, taking yourself to a different place?
That's what it is for me. I know it can be different for other people, but for me, I really try to stay in the moment. And because more times than not, we so often lose ourselves in those moments and we forget to actually be there in the experience.
Yeah.
I know I've done that enough one times. So I really try my best to just be there and soak it all in like a sponge.
And is there a support system in place from The Voice? Is there coaching trying to help you through those nerves and things like that prior to the blind auditions?
Yes. So we do get like a choreo coach, of course, to help us stage everything. And then we do get a vocal coach who will help us run our song a few times ahead of time.
Right. So I got to let people know out there. I know a lot of people are going to be like, ask her what's going to happen. We're not allowed to talk about the future here, okay? So she is literally in the middle of her journey right now in The Voice. The fact that she's been allowed to even talk to us is a huge amount of trust from The Voice and their folks. So I want to thank them, Danielle especially, just for trusting us not to talk about the things we can't talk about. So we can talk about past, we can talk about the things that have already happened up till now in the airing part of The Voice. Which is just now, you just went through your battle round with
Mhm.
Jalen Johnston, which was amazing. You guys absolutely killed it. You made everybody think you guys were a couple. I'm pretty sure you're not, right? So talk about that. There's hoopla out there thinking you guys are like a couple now just because of a phenomenal performance. So clear that up for everybody.
Yeah, let's shut those rumors down right now.
Yeah.
No, he's a wonderful friend, and he is so easy to work with too. I was terrified going into it because I haven't done a whole lot of duet stuff like I
Mm-hmm.
stated in my interviews. So going into that was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And then I was doing more of like the harmony parts, and that was even scarier. But Jalen made it so easy. He was so easy to work with. He was like, if you're not comfortable doing this, we'll do it a different way. And oh, I just love people who are easy to work with.
It's going to be daunting because you're a front girl. You've fronted your own band,
Yes.
since you started doing this. You taught yourself how to play. You're a singer. All of these things. You're not, and now you have to share the spotlight with somebody else who's has that background as well, right? He's also been a singer
Right.
and a front person and all of those things. And now you have to shine while not shining. It's got to be
Right.
difficult, right?
Yeah, it can be, but I think at the end of the day that we did a good job of not making it about one of ourselves or the other. We
Yeah.
did a good job about coming together and remembering this is a performance and we're going to go out there and we're going to give it our best shot.
I wish they would change the name of the format. I think battle is such a misnomer. I don't think you guys are really battling as much as just trying to put out a good performance and showcasing who you are without trying to really outshine the other person. Just out of respect, I would imagine, right? Because you guys are coming up in this
Yes.
together. So, but yeah, I think you guys did great. And then you were saved by Kelsey. So you think you're going home, you're walking off the stage, you get saved. I mean, what? The emotions, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, well, I'm almost back to Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
And then bam.
And
she hit her
where did all
button,
this
so-
take place, this journey? Is it L.A.?
I'm sorry, what did you ask? Yes, in LA at Universal Studios.
Was that your first time experience in Los Angeles and California and all that too?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's a lot different than Redwater.
Oh yeah. So I have a friend named Katie Lynn who was a 12-year-old semi-finalist on America's Got Talent years ago. She's she's 21 now. So yeah, that's 9 years ago. But yeah, I was her friend at that time. Her first time going to California and Los Angeles and all of that stuff. So I traveled that road with her, and I know what it's like. And that's why I know what I can ask and what I can't ask. Let's talk about Hailey Wright and The Wrong.
Oh my goodness.
What a great name for a band.
Right?
So did you come up with this? Was this like right away, or this feels like a drummer or a bassist came up with this shit?
Ding, ding, ding. You hit the nail on the head. So, funny enough, my drummer at the time came up with the name.
Yeah, see, I knew it.
He said it at a practice, and he was like, but I'm just joking. We don't have to use it. And I turned and I said, no, that's it. That's what we're running with now.
It's perfect, man. It's so good. I mean, it just looks good in lights. Like, it looks good on a flyer. The alliteration rolls off the tongue. It's perfect, man. I love it. And so what was it like putting together a band for you? Again, I got to remind people, she broke her freaking leg. That's why she's in this world, right? So, like, just like a stroke of fate, now you're putting together a band, you're writing songs, you're on The Voice now. Like, so, putting together a band is so stressful. I don't think people know what that's like. So try to tell people what it's like.
Well, funny enough, with my first band, Hailey Wright The Wrong, they actually came to me.
Really?
And it was a
Okay.
suggestion they had. Yes. So it was two brothers, Rance Cox and his brother, Dustin Cox. And then my bass player was Trey Lockhart. But Rance came to me and he was like, well, we're thinking about putting on a band. What do you think about coming and singing? And I really didn't even think about it. I was kind of like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? I got nothing to lose.
So how much of your influences are coming from their musicianship? Because I love the blues factor sometimes, right? Like, your guitarist is freaking amazing with those blues licks and stuff. And
oh,
man.
1000%.
Yeah, so like I was listening to a blues number that you guys were doing, and you fall right into that, right? So like
Hmm.
Talk about that. How your
Man.
bandmates are
Oof.
shaping you.
Yes. And you know, I feel like it's kind of like it just depends on the music itself. So whatever they're putting out, I'm feeling that,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
how I'm gonna sing.
yeah. And that's your job as a front person. That is your job. You're the conduit,
Yeah.
right? Like you're the voice. That's your job. Wow. No pun intended. The voice, but yeah. Um, yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, I love the fact that Billie Eilish is somebody that you have as part of your path, and all of these rocking songs, the Janis Joplin stuff, the blues stuff, and here you are making a name for yourself with traditional classic country on
Mhm.
a international stage. It's just you're such a cool artist. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's not just from the voice either. Like I said, you have a history before that and all of that. But has there been a change? Because I know you're still performing at regional shows and live shows. Has there been a
Mhm.
change in the attention you're getting at your shows now that you're being focused on or
Oh,
being,
yeah.
you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, big time. There's been a change. I just played Fat Jack's here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, great
Sold the
venue.
place out.
Great.
Never sold Fat Jack's out before in my life. And I was playing solo acoustic. It was just me. It wasn't like there
Yeah,
was a big band. And get this, on a Thursday night.
let's go. Let's go.
I'm
Yeah.
talking people were parking blocks away just to be able to attend.
Hmm. Was there any thought given to you from an artistic standpoint to perform with your guitar and perhaps an original song on the show, on the voice itself?
No. No. So with the voice, they try to stick to cover songs
Right.
more so. So I don't think you'll see any of that.
But you do have original songs, don't you?
Yes, I
And
do.
so, talk about your songwriting process a little bit.
Um, for me, most times I just get an idea, whether I'm out in town or I'm sitting around the house. I'll just get something to pop in my head, and I'm like, that could be a good song, and I'll jot it down, and I'll leave it sitting for about 5 or 6 months, and I'll go back to it.
And so,
But
so you're
uh,
just kind of walking through the world experience in life, and if you hear an idea, then that's a spur of the
mhm.
moment thing. You have to grab your phone and do something
Yes.
to capture it.
Yes. And most times I'll just jot down like one line, and really it can take a few months before it hits me, and I'm like, "Wait, I got to sit down and write this," because I'll be playing the guitar
Yeah.
and I'll hit a good chord progression that I'm like, "Hold on. What was that note I took here a couple months back?" And I'll look back and I'm like, "Hold on. I got to write this."
So the songwriting is more it's based in a lyrical foundation, and then you apply the music to it later. Um, so it can take a while before you hear a melody underneath that lyric. Then, huh?
Yes. Yes.
That's
And
pretty cool.
sometimes it doesn't take a while. Sometimes I'm able to write something down and look at it and I'm like, hold on, okay, I think I can do this with the melody or do this, and then I'll get the guitar out and I'll go from there.
Yeah, and on the flip side, are you able to do the other way around too? Like maybe you hear a jingle or a melody in your head, and then you apply a lyric to it. Are you able to do that as well?
Yes. Yes, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Nice.
I love I feel like the guitar is a big factor in it all for me. So like I was saying, if I hear something that sounds really pretty on the guitar and I want to go back to some lyrics that I wrote and I'll look at that and then I'll put the melody with it and then I'll try to collide the two worlds and make one thing out of it.
Yeah. What's when you're writing? How long does it take before you realize a genre behind your song? Like like sometimes you can have an edge to it that can make it more rock or southern rock or
Mhm.
something like that. Or other times there can be more vulnerability in the song that makes it more country. Do you realize that's happening as you go, or do you not realize that until later? Or maybe you never realize there's a genre associated to it.
So I yes, I agree with the last statement. So I try to not place myself in a box
Good.
because I do like all genres of music.
Hmm.
And when I'm writing, it's really more about the song itself as opposed to what genre it is.
Yeah. That's called letting the song rule the room, by the way.
Yes.
I've talked to hundreds of songwriters, Grammy Awards and multi-platinum. They all say the same thing: let the song rule the room. Go where the song goes. Don't ever stand in the way of the song. I'm not a songwriter, but that's probably the best advice I've ever heard from songwriters. Never fight with the song.
Yeah,
The
never.
song will always win.
Yes.
Are
You
you
gotta get it out of your system.
exactly? Are you able to schedule songwriting, or is it always kind of spontaneous?
For me, it's always spontaneous. I think
Yeah.
putting a schedule on it kind of ruins
So
it
you can't just say
because
I'm going to
then
write
it's
a
not
song
coming
Saturday and
naturally.
then sit down and write a song on Saturday. It doesn't work that way for you.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's got to come naturally.
I love that. That's good stuff. And again, there's what I call cubicle writing, staff writing, published writers, where they're literally, going to work every day, 8 to 5, writing songs, and they can do that, and they come up with great stuff. I don't know how they do
Mm-hmm.
it because there has to be that passion, that emotion, that feel to a song, and that's almost always spontaneous. In my experience. Man, I love having you here. You're a breath of fresh air. Um, and I'm going to take a brief break here. We're going to come back with our having fun segment. I bet you Hailey has no idea what's about to happen.
I'm putting it together right now, and I'd love to get it out that any student, I don't care how old you are or what, if your heart lies within this kind of domain of the sound, playing, any of that, I'm gonna start taking one day out of every couple of weeks and invite students in for a very small charge, and I will tell you whatever you want. Any question you got, I'll try to answer it.
Well, I will certainly put that out there. I'll make this a little ad for you, and we can share it
Because
everywhere.
they'll have full access to the studio, everything. I can tell them everything about how all of this started from analog into the digital world, and you'll be able to have hands on, and I'll show you why analog sounds better than digital.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely cut this out. I'll make a little ad out of it, and we can share it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Because I'd love to do it. That's my legacy, is to leave.
It's the pass it down, right?
Yeah.
I mean. All right, so we are back with Hailey Wright. So I have 5 or 6 fun segments we call having fun with Hailey Wright, and I think you'll have a blast with these. Okay, so the first one is called Mount Rushmore. So
Okay.
the real Mount Rushmore has 4 people on it. And what I want from you is to name your Mount Rushmore of most influential artists to you. You can only name 4, and you do not get an honorable mention, Hailey, so don't try to name a 5th.
Oh, you're really putting the pressure on me. Okay. Whew. All right, all right, all right. Let's start. I'm gonna say Patsy Cline.
Nice.
That's a good one. Um, let's go Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash. You gotta have him, gotta love him. Um, dang, I only get 2 more. Ah, this is harder than I thought.
The third one's the easiest to name. It's the 4th one that you're going to struggle with.
Okay, I'm gonna say Linda Ronstadt.
Nice.
Hmm.
See? I told you. See, now you
You're
have the
right.
entire rest of the world, and you can only choose one of them.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Oh no. Okay, I know who I gotta go with. Merle Haggard.
Okay. Guys, I got to
Mhm.
say, man, all 4 were country. Well, Linda's a little crossover, but yeah, none of them are relevant today. None of them are either alive or able to perform. So that says a lot. That says a lot. That's a great choice. All right, so the next segment is called What the Heck. So this requires some participation from you first. So what I need from you is 6 numbers randomly. The 6 numbers between
Okay.
1 and 50. Choose 6.
Okay. I'm telling you these numbers.
Yep.
Okay. Good old 13 is the first one.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do 7.
Okay.
We'll do 42.
Okay.
We'll do 21,
Okay. 2 more.
38,
Okay.
and hmm, Let's do 3.
3. Okay. So I have 50 questions here, and some of them are funny, some of them are weird, some of them are deep, and you just chose your 6 questions. So.
Oh, wonderful. This was a setup the whole time.
All right, so number 1, the way this works is you have to shut your filter off. Whatever enters your brain has to come out your mouth, and that's your answer. All right?
Okay.
All right, number 1 is, do pyromaniacs wear blazers?
They should.
Yeah, I agree. I think so, too. All right, number 2, how violently do you have to fight the urge to scream when you hear an ice cream truck in your neighborhood?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Always have to fight
Me
their
too.
scream.
Imagine if they had taco trucks with like a little mariachi theme.
Oh my gosh. I would run outside with my guitar. Hold on, I'm going to help.
Somebody should be doing this. Golly.
Yes.
What is wrong with you people? You rich people out there. This is a marketing pyramid scheme. Ready. All right, number 3. Oh, this is a great question. Which superpower do you wish you had?
Invisibility.
Ooh, interesting one. Okay. All right, number 4. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how intolerable do you find baby pictures to be on social media?
1.
1. So you like baby pictures?
I love babies.
Okay. All right. As long as they're not yours. That's what I see. I'm a grandfather now,
right?
And I can give the baby back when it's being bad, right? Like, go see your mother. All right, number 5. What has been your favorite age so far?
I think I'm gonna say 16.
Okay. So you already recovered from the broken leg. Your softball career has come down in flames, and now you're immersing yourself in the music.
That's right.
All right, there we go. All right, last question from What the Heck. On average, how many times a week do you hurt yourself attempting to dance in the shower?
There's not a number. Far too many.
That's great. Oh, man, you see why we call that What the Heck, right?
I love it.
All right. Next segment is called One Artist. Now, remember, well, you don't know about this, but basically, who is one artist you wish the entire world knew about? And you cannot choose yourself.
Okay. I'm going to go Freddie Fender.
There you go. That's a great one. I like that. Very good. Freddie Fender has a son as well that's an artist, Freddie Fender Jr., by the way. You didn't know that. Check him out too, y'all. All right, next segment is called Wishlist. This is goal-oriented. What is on your wish list? What are some things you wish you could do as an artist or just in life in general?
I definitely have goals of bettering myself as a guitar player.
Okay.
I would love to one day maybe be able to actually play some good lead guitar. That would be nice. I like to think I can here and there, but not quite. I feel like honestly bettering myself in general as an artist, because I can name off little things like vocally, guitar playing, harmonica playing, that type of stuff, but really just in general bettering myself as an artist.
Are you real in depth when it comes to those? I don't want to say incremental, but just in general, those progresses. Like you're really trying to hit the finer details of who you are as an artist.
Oh yeah, and I tend to be a perfectionist. Like
Yeah.
I gotta have it perfect, or I'm not done.
I understand that. Man, that's a fault. It can be so good and so bad, man. Like, I'm a perfectionist as well. And, like, oh, I hate it at times. I truly do. All right, next one is called Personal Best. What do you feel has been your personal best accomplishment so far? This doesn't have to be music related.
Honestly, so far, I really gotta say being on The Voice.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to be the answer.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Kelsea Ballerini did not make her Mount Rushmore. I just want to throw that out there, just for topic. I know we're not on the Mount Rushmore segment anymore, but I was like, oh boy, the girl that just saved her on The Voice did not make her Mount Rushmore. Woo!
Oh my gosh, I know, it's a setup.
No, I didn't even realize it till just now. I was like, wait, how dare you choose Merle Haggard over your voice coach? Oh my gosh. All right.
I'm going to get an email about this later.
Oh, this is all going on TikTok. You know it. All right. Last one. This segment is called "Who Do You Think You Are?" Who is Hailey Wright?
Okay. Hailey Wright is. Ooh. I hate talking about myself.
Mm-hmm. I know. That's why I love this segment.
Oh my goodness. I like to think that I am outgoing. More times once you get to know me than upon first meeting me. I am. Ooh.
The hard
No,
one
help me out
is
here.
the hardest question on the show to answer. It's so hard to describe who you are. It really, truly is.
I think it depends on the person. Like, I know this is me, of course, describing myself, but to hear other people's opinions,
Mhm.
like, I think it would differ, like, depending on who you ask.
But the most important opinion we have is our own, of how we feel about ourselves. So it's always good to reflectively look at that. Because when you're walking through life, you can kind of be outside yourself, experiencing all the things you're experiencing. So a question like, who am I, can really ground you in so many different ways. And that's why I asked that question. And that's why it's always the last question of the show, too. So, yeah, it's a great kind of technique for self-reflection. Especially for an artist. You'd be surprised. Most of the songwriters and artists I have on the show do not even mention music as part of their answer for that question, which I find interesting as hell.
Really?
Yeah, truly.
Wow.
So 2025 has just come upon us. Obviously, your journey on The Voice is not over yet. And I know you're not able to talk about the future when it comes to that, but what else are you hoping to accomplish this year?
This year I definitely want to start working on recording and releasing my original material, because right now I don't have anything out. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a good start.
Which is interesting from the standpoint of being on a contestant show, because a lot of those artists have stuff that people can filter towards original music, whether it's EPs or an LP or whatever, and you don't have that. So all of those things have to come fast and furious when your time is over on The Voice, whether you win or not. All of that stuff has to come, and I know you have to be excited about that.
Oh, yeah. It's like the most exciting part thus far.
Yeah. And do you have to go on
so
tour?
many people ask.
Go ahead.
So many people ask, they want to hear originals, and they're constantly like, okay, what do you have out? Where can I check your music out at? And I'm like, oh, I don't have anything right now, but I'm working on it.
Live shows. That's how you go to see Hailey. You go see a live show. You just had one, a couple of days ago. So they exist out there. You want to see Hailey, that's how you do it. You want to hear originals, that's how you do it.
That's right.
And I'm excited about any records that come from you. And we'd love to have you back on the show anytime you'd like to come on. Just let me know. And thanks for your time today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, everybody, I'm Radney Foster, and you are tuning in to Boston Chris, and it's going to be a blast. Trust me.